Well, it's interesting because lots of the new atheists are harking back to philosophy, which was really championed by a guy called David Hume. And he basically said, look, we can't believe in things that can't be proven. So he came up with this idea that unless you could prove a statement, it just wasn't worthy of even being considered. The new atheists are trying to resurrect this. So Hume said, you know, unless you can prove something either what he called analytically, which would mean you can use maths, an equation, or something's true by definition, a circle is round or bachelors are unmarried. So unless you can come up with an analytical proof or an empirical proof, so a repeatable scientific experiment to prove something. So, you know, my filling is gold. We can go into a laboratory and test whether what I say is true. So unless something is analytically verifiable, provable, or empirically verifiable, we can't even discuss it. It's not capable of being true. People say, well, you know, the resurrection of Jesus from the dead, it's not true by definition. You can't use a maths equation to prove it. It's not empirically true. Therefore, we shouldn't even be discussing it. And it's fascinating this is coming back, because actually what philosophers coming after Hume discovered is that Hume's idea itself collapses. It's neither true by definition, nor is it empirically verifiable. So the philosophy upon which naturalism, the big ideology behind atheism, that philosophy itself can't sustain itself. It's a faith commitment as much as any other faith commitment. It's a worldview. It's not a scientific perspective. So in the same way that many scientists would say, well, there are lots of things we can't prove, we can't go back and repeat the Big Bang, but we believe the Big Bang happened on the basis of evidence. Lots of scientific propositions are based on evidence. So the same is true of history. And I would argue the resurrection of Jesus is historical in that sense. We can't prove it, we can't do a repeatable experiment in that sense, but we can go back and examine the evidence and make a decision about its truthfulness.